Welcome back to another podcast of the Three Cricketers. I'm your host Afnan.
I'm Taha.
I'm Huzaifa.
And a couple weeks have passed since the start of PSL and the IPL. The tables are setting up, right? The better teams are at the top and the teams that are not doing well, they're at the bottom. It's looking like it's turning into something, and we're going to cover that. You guys want to start with the PSL?
Yeah, I think we should start off this conversation by talking about the overall team standings. In both the tournaments, obviously, we will first cover PSL, then we will get into IPL, and then we are also going to be covering the outstanding performances, some of the key moments, and obviously the stats on a player level. So without further ado, I think we should talk about PSL first. We all have our eyes on PSL. I feel like we've been watching it fairly closely, trying to see like how the teams are doing. Obviously, we know the two new teams that came into this tournament, Hyderabad and Pindies. We know what's happening with them. Yep. And overall, we're trying to still analyze each of the youngsters, or trying to keep our eyes out on majority of the youngsters that are currently playing in PSL to see who are some of the more prospective players that could play for Pakistan in the future, hopefully. So yeah, I think we can get started with our standings.
Yep.
So I believe...
So right now, Multan is first. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's Peshawar Zalmi,
yep,
Islamabad United, and Karachi Kings that are leading the top four.
Yep.
Right?
So... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that kind of works out with what we were talking about last week, right? We said the Multan were the best team.
Yep.
Looking into the tournament. If you look at their front three, it's just so good.
Steve Smith, Farhan Sahibzada.
Exactly. And then you have, I think Josh Philippe comes in.
Oh, yeah, Philippe is also in there as well. And he actually played a pretty decent knock recently. He scored half a century or something, I believe.
He made 56 or something.
Yeah, something like that. So we got Multan Sultan, 5 games played, 4-1 out of 5. Then we in second we have Peshawar Zalmi. They haven't played their 5th game, by the way. This was their 4th game that they played.
Karachi hasn't played their 5th game as well.
Karachi hasn't. These are the actually couple of teams. So the only teams that have played 5 games are Islamabad and Multan. The rest of the teams have only played 4. But that being said, second is Peshawar Zalmi. Their net run rate is insane compared to other teams. 2.87. So rounded up to 2.9.
It's because of today's game, right?
So,
they washed Karachi out of the...
insane game today. We had 236 something on the board, and bowled out Karachi for 87 runs.
They lost by 159 runs, I believe.
Yeah,
Karachi, which is an insane margin in a T20 tournament
for sure.
I think Karachi are 4th right now.
Karachi is 4th.
Yeah, and their net run rate is in the negative.
Negative
right
1.6.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. If you're 4 games in, you've won 3.
You won 3.
Yeah,
right.
And your net run rate is negative.
Yeah,
it's like proper Pakistani team.
Yeah, it's like they're probably going to be now praying for rain and all the easy
winning
points that they could get. So, anyways, yeah. So we got Islamabad on 3rd. 5 games played, 3-1. Their net run rate is really good. Well, reasonably good. 2.05, so about 2.1. Karachi already mentioned. Then we got Lahore, Quetta, and then Hyderabad, and then lastly the Pindi boys, right? We already know. So what do you guys want to talk about? We've already discussed the standings. 2 weeks have passed. I feel like we've seen some really good cricket. I feel like when I was going, when PSL was going to start, I wasn't that excited. To be honest, because I feel like with no crowd and the hype wasn't really there, because some of the players that they made the face of the tournament, I wasn't really hyped about.
Some players left last minute, which was pretty bad.
Yeah, I thought Glenn Maxwell was supposed to play or something, whatever. That's passed.
Bunch of players.
Yeah, but what's been, I'm so glad to my surprise, the tournament it turned out to be very entertaining, right? Even without the crowd, at least when I'm watching, they've added the whole crowd noise and all that. I think it's a good addition to the games, but also just in general, I feel like we've seen very high scoring games like Hyderabad versus Peshawar Zalmi versus Karachi Kings was one of them. I believe there's been a couple of games that were high scoring. So one of them outside of this one, we had something like Pindies versus Karachi Kings still came very close. 197 Pindies made, and Karachi won by they made 199.
There was one with 208 as well.
So yeah, there was Hyderabad Kingsman and Multan Sultan. That was a crazy game because Multan actually chased down 227 runs.
Exactly.
And Hyderabad made 225, right? And then we have
Karachi chased down 198 as well against Rawalpindi.
Yeah. So
we've actually been having a lot of good games.
yeah,
And like you said, it is a surprise
yeah,
because going into the tournament, I don't really like the whole like fake audio
yeah,
of the crowd and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But the actual cricket itself
yeah.
has been pretty good. It's been
Interesting. You don't
entertaining.
like the audio? 'Cause
No, I mean the thing is, like I've seen that in the past too, in like
Yeah.
other sports during
Right.
COVID, like they put the
Mhm.
whole.
Yeah.
And I just felt like you'd rather just leave it than add all this.
See,
thing.
I remember when WWE was happening back in COVID, and I think they had like people tuning in from their homes or whatever.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
had like their screens,
They had the
right?
screens, yeah.
in the crowd.
stands, yeah.
Yeah, they
Right.
did that in like soccer too, like with the
Yeah.
fake crowd and all.
Yeah.
But it's whatever though.
So
The actual quality of cricket has been
Yeah.
pretty good. It's been
so
entertaining.
that's what I'm saying. So we've seen high scoring games. Like we just talked about Hyderabad, and we talked about Multan
Karachi,
Sultan. We
yeah.
talked about Karachi. We talked about Peshawar Zalmi. Then we've seen games that were like on the lower scoring side, which is let's say something like Hyderabad again in Peshawar Zalmi, which was like 145 runs. And then you also had Lahore. Today was Lahore Qalandars and Islamabad United. 100 runs. Lahore got out.
Yeah,
against
I mean
Islamabad, right?
they just faltered all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
And then obviously Karachi Kings got out at 87 against a mammoth target of 246, right? You see, honestly, you see these targets in IPL, but I feel like in IPL you consistently see these scores of 200, right? It's almost like these pitches, and I'm kind of going into IPL for a tiny bit. These pitches I feel like are just tailor made for batters, right? These pitches are like you see how cleanly the ball gets onto the pitch and then onto their bats in IPL.
Yeah, they're basically roads.
They're basically roads, yeah. Like even bowlers in IPL could predict where the ball is going to come in terms of the length,
Yeah.
which is the reason why a lot of these IPL games have been really high scoring. But
It is on purpose though, right? Because
yeah.
if you have roads, that means the games are gonna go for longer.
yes,
And that's more viewership money.
and a lot of
If
entertainment.
yeah, exactly. And if the games are getting done by like 1:30,
Yeah.
low chases
Yeah.
and like close
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
it might be entertaining, right? I like
Yeah.
that, but from the broadcaster's point of view, it's not really the best bang for their buck.
Yeah,
Right.
fair. Okay, so that's good. I think with PSL we've seen how it's turning out to be, and I guess we can talk about
You can talk about the individual players.
let's
Right.
talk about the outstanding performances, I would say, or the stats of the tournament, right? Do you want to talk about like the runners, right? Right now we know the most runs scored in PSL.
It's
The
Sabs out front.
leaderboard or the scoreboard, or just in general like what we're counting. Farhan Sahibzada is leading the charts by
I think 232 runs. Right now?
he has something like 230 runs.
It is, and then Samir Minhas is second with like 180 odd runs.
Yeah, Samir Ranaz is another player that I would love to talk about again, because in our previous episode we talked about Samir Manaz, one of the guys that we're watching. We'll get to Abdul Samad as well, but Samir Manaz, it's so fun to watch as he's a kid compared to like I'm 28, so this guy's like 19 something. He's like 10 years younger, and he's playing so well in against really good Pakistani bowlers and then international bowlers as well. And obviously there's pressure in PSL too. It's not like there's no pressure.
For local players, there's always
Yeah,
pressure because
exactly.
you're playing
They're
for a contract.
and they're
right?
trying to prove themselves,
Exactly.
right? So I think Samir Manaz has been doing good. I'm really hoping that we could see these kids be, or at least these guys be, at least given a chance in Pakistan jersey, right? But anyway, so we got Sahibzada Farhan, and then Samir Manaz, and I think Steve Smith or something.
No, I think it's Babar right now.
Oh, yeah,
number
Babar
three.
is third,
because of
right?
today's game against Karachi.
Yeah,
I think he's climbed up the board. He has like 165 runs
yeah,
as of today, something like that. But with Samir Manaz, the reason why I really like his performances is mainly because of the strike rate, right?
right.
So there's no point if you're getting a lot of runs in a T20 Cup if your strike rate is low, right?
Trash,
Yeah, if
for
you look
sure.
at Hassan Nawaz, it's actually kind of
It's a hit or a miss kind of
it
thing.
is a hit or a miss, which it's not actually, because I don't mind hit or miss, right? It's a T20 game, right? Like
Yeah,
you come
fair.
in, you hit.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hit, it's fine, right? You go home. It's like Shahid Afridi
Yeah.
a lot of the way. What I have a problem with is when you go hit or you just go defensive mode.
Yeah.
And you start playing run a ball, less than run a ball.
I think that has been the consistent problem with him. It's honestly like the fact that, like you said, he either plays innings too slow. He takes a lot of time to like get adjusted to the conditions, and then he starts to accelerate. But a lot of times you can go in your shell.
Yeah.
When you're like 14 of 18 balls, for example, and then it's your turn to like like switch into like another gear.
Yeah.
The next gear.
It's a
like,
high risk thing.
It's a high risk thing, and then you're not gonna be
Yeah.
used to it. You're gonna be out of confidence if you're not timing the ball well.
Facts.
So that's gonna lead to your demise, right?
So he has an
Yeah.
average of 52 at a strike rate of 129.
See, that's not
That's not acceptable, right?
Yeah.
especially at his position as
Exactly. At
Yeah.
number 4, number
Yeah.
5.
And then he's been hyped up to be one of those guys who has a very high strike rate, right?
yeah.
So yeah, if you're trending at a strike rate of 129, yeah, obviously you're not going
well.
to
Dude,
be
in T20 in any position,
I
129
mean,
is
we
not
clown
acceptable.
on Babar Azam
Yeah.
if its strike rates anywhere even close to like 130 or even now like 140, right?
Yeah.
Then I think Hassan Nawaz deserves the same treatment. Even though I truly enjoy watching Hassan
no,
Nawaz
when he's on it, he's really
has,
good.
He
Yeah.
has like power, right? He can
Yeah.
actually, he's a good power hitter. It's just, yeah, like when it comes to strike rate in T20, he has to know his role. I think also that's where the board also has a part to play, right? In which position they should be playing, these players playing. But anyways, what we can say?
No, I was just gonna say he has like a trouble like rotating the strikes. I feel like
that's pervasive. That goes for just not him. That's this Pakistani team overall.
yeah,
It depends, right? Like you
that
say
is
that,
true.
but then you also have guys like Samir Manaz playing at like 170 strike rate, right?
Right.
So it can be done.
Right.
I feel you just need to improve your game
Right.
and add things that you know are gonna get you far, right? So
Yeah.
if you're a guy who's scoring 60 off runs, right, at a really good strike rate, then next game you're scoring like 29 of 33, then obviously there's a problem in
Yeah.
there,
Right,
right?
right.
Maybe you're not picking up certain kind of bowlers, maybe you're not picking up certain spinners or
Yeah.
certain line of length, right?
Yep.
So yeah, your game needs to be more evolved than what he's shown, because otherwise you have no chance, right? You have Masadakat,
Yep.
you have
So
guys.
Masadaga, sorry, you're bringing it up.
Yeah.
Masadaga's strike rate is right now 219 in the tournament, which is obviously insane, right? And then you have people like Abdul Samad that has a strike rate of 285.
Yeah, Abdul Samad has
Insane.
that guy can hit the ball.
yeah.
So, like, I'm just looking at the numbers right now. Like, Masadagat is 4th on the list of the highest, best batting strike rate of 219.
Which is
obviously.
insane, yeah.
Insane. And we need someone, and the best part is he's an opener, right? Obviously, like, granted, he's played 3 matches and he scored, like, 79 runs. So, average isn't, like, the craziest. But
That's fine.
But it
That's-
doesn't need to be for
Exactly, it
T20s. You
doesn't-
just need to be
Exactly.
averaging like what 25 to 35.
Yeah, exactly.
And
If
if
you
you have a
can-
strike rate of like 160 odd,
Yeah.
that's perfect, bro.
I agree with
You're
that.
playing
I
according
think-
to the game.
Yeah, and I think, like sometimes you see these big scores. You go, you check the scoreboard and you're like, oh, it's 200. Then you go into like you're expecting someone to be like, oh, someone scored
100 a
right?
century,
But like
right?
it's generally
Yeah.
these small cameos.
That
of, like,
shit doesn't matter. Like anymore.
yeah, I think
That's
what
like a very like 2015 thing.
yeah, I think what matters genuinely nowadays is like I get more surprised too when I'm like I see like 4 guys pitching in like 30s and 40s and they're quick runs, so that'll add up to like about 200.
That's
right?
the way to go.
Exactly. So I think that's where averages in T20s do not matter, at least when it comes to
Yeah, it can be like too
Yeah.
extreme
Yeah.
where your strike is like 300, you're making
yeah.
like 10 runs.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you still
of
gotta
course.
play according to the
Yeah,
conditions
exactly. You
and
still gotta
according to the
make
situation.
runs.
Obviously,
But it
yeah.
just depends how much runs do you need,
Yeah.
right?
But
And
I think
how,
that's where we kind of like,
yeah,
continue.
we'll go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think that's where we kind of missed. We didn't have that insight back in the day, back in 2021, because I don't know if you guys remember, like Babar and Rizwan, they were giving like very very slow starts.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
in against Namibia they were like 50 in 9 overs,
Yeah.
and that was Shoaib Malik who kind of came at the end, and he propelled them to like 190, right?
Right.
So I did started picking up on that, but I was kind of surprised that a lot of analysts and stuff they were not
Yeah.
bringing up
Yeah, I
that
think
point.
with Pakistan cricket, it kind of becomes like a little echo chamber in certain parts, right? In
Yeah.
2021, they
Yeah.
were doing all right.
I think they were
doing-
winning all the games
Yeah,
as well.
they were
So
winning.
all
some-
that was going
yeah.
under the carpet.
Yeah, so
basically.
people were like, okay, let's just put this
Yeah,
under the rug. Who
yeah.
cares? We're winning, right?
That is true,
And if
yeah.
you say anything, then again, they'll come back and say that you have an
Yeah.
agenda against
Yeah,
a certain player and
true.
that. But everyone knows now, right? India has shown that over
Yeah.
the past couple of T20 World Cups,
Yep.
how you play T20 cricket,
100%.
and everyone is moving towards that.
I feel like India is just like at a next different level now. They're like even against some of the stronger teams. I feel like India is just on a different wavelength compared to many of these
Yeah.
countries.
yeah, but you
right?
can still try to compete, right? By following the same blueprint of
Yes.
how they play
That
cricket.
That is true.
Yeah, so I mean, I love the way that Abdul Samad is playing.
Yeah.
At a striker, I think you just said like 284 or something like that.
So today's game, let's talk
Yeah.
about that, right? Abdul Samad scored 40 something runs, 40 runs I think on the dot, and he off like what 11,
12, 11 or 12 balls, yeah.
Striker.
300 plus strike rate.
Yep.
He had
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 sixes in there, man. And his shots were actually like proper too. It's not like he obviously you have to slog
Yeah, of
to
course.
an extent,
Yeah.
but he was able to watch the ball and he was able to flick it on mid wicket, I believe, fine leg as well, and then on the offside too. So he doesn't just seem like a player who only targets mid wicket, because I've noticed with Pakistani players, their favorite spot for some reason is just mid wicket. They want to play
All on leg side. Yeah.
all on the only the onside is what they care about, and that's where teams pick up and they get out, obviously, whatever. But Abdul Samad, I feel like obviously he has
range.
he has range. He has to prove himself more, obviously.
Yeah.
But I believe we are unanimous on the fact that we would love to see him in Pakistan jersey, right? So
I mean,
yeah.
the thing is, coming into this tournament,
Yeah.
he was actually doing really poor.
Yeah.
Even in like the Asia Cup that he played and a couple, I think, Shaheen games that he played.
Yeah.
And New Zealand as well. I
Yeah,
believe,
he was
yeah.
doing really bad. I'm talking like taking a lot of balls,
Right.
but not scoring enough
Yeah.
runs.
Right.
But now, like, this is what we want to see, right?
Yeah.
In the middle order.
Yeah.
If someone is playing like this, they will definitely find a place in the Pakistani team.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair. No, that is a good point. So we've covered like today's game. Obviously, it was a big loss for Karachi.
What do you guys think? Sorry, it's just like random, because you talked about Masadakat and
Yeah.
how well he's playing.
Yeah.
And then, Samir Manaf is also an opener.
Yeah.
And then you have Saim Ayub, who's not making runs, taking a lot of time to settle in and then getting out. It's the same pattern we are seeing for the past year and a half.
year and a half,
probably. The last time I saw him perform was probably in Australia.
Yeah.
to
So
be
how
honest.
long are you? How long is the? Do you
Grace
think?
period for him?
Yeah. How long do you think the PCB is gonna say? All right, you know what? Your bowling is really good, so we'll
Yeah.
keep you in the
Yeah.
11. I don't think it's gonna work, especially after this PSL.
No
If Samir Manhas, what do you call it, Masadakat and Shamil Hussain, these kind of players.
I forgot about Shamil Hussain.
Yeah.
We should talk about that guy too.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
he's
go ahead,
doing
go
really
with
well too. Him and like Masadakat is kind of like a head-to-head against them.
Yeah,
with each
they
other,
probably
right?
have that competition
Exactly,
between
and that's
how
good.
Wasim and Waqar used to be
Yeah.
probably back in the day. Obviously, no comparison, but like they probably are watching each other and they probably get motivated by seeing each other perform in the tournament. But at the same time, they know that they are playing for a place to represent Pakistan.
They're
It's a
both
big,
kind
big
of
deal.
playing for the same place, right?
Yeah.
Both left-handers,
Yep.
both openers, both have kind of the same play style. Maz
Yeah.
might be more aggressive, but
Yeah.
that's kind of the point that I was trying to bring. I think now is the perfect time
Yeah.
for Pakistan to kind of move away from Saim Ayub
Mm.
and try out these new youngsters who are proving
Yeah.
themselves and give them a run of games. Saim has got an insane run of games and
Yeah.
I don't see anything, right? There's no
Yeah.
improvement. It
He's
just
been
keeps
poor
on-
in like PSL as well. I feel like this is the time where he should
Exactly.
like,
This should be the
start taking things
confidence
seriously.
booster.
Yeah, like a confidence booster. But it's been the same story, man. Like it's super annoying to see that. He's
Exactly.
what, like the second richest player now?
Yeah, I think he's like a local
Like in
player.
this-
yeah,
like-
maybe
like the richest local. Like,
Yeah.
Richest?
Yeah, like a local player.
in the PSL,
And
like
the second
amount
richest
of money
oh,
he got
after like
paid,
Steve
yeah.
Smith, I believe.
That's
But
I
that
actually
doesn't
saw
justify the
that.
price
I
point.
actually saw that and I was kind of like perplexed at someone paying the second most like the highest number of the money to get someone like Saim Ayub, because you got a lot of other players that are that were in the draft, I guess. But yeah, that was just surprising. I remember seeing that. I didn't know that was actually true. I didn't really look too deep into it, but that's
No, it's
insane.
still
man.
surprising. Yeah,
It's-
like his stock hasn't gone down.
Yeah.
I think it has gone up.
Yeah, he's probably gonna.
Another player that I like in the PSL right now, a Pakistani player, is Arafat Minhas, because
Okay.
he's kind of playing the same role that Mohammad Awazi plays, right? He's a
Okay.
left-arm spinner.
Yep.
He's scoring. I think he's made 82 runs in this tournament so far in 4 innings at an average of 26
Okay.
and a strike rate of 200. So and he's picking up wickets. So if I'm the PCB, if I'm the coach and the captain, I keep a close eye on this guy because he's the kind of player that can it's a direct replacement with
Right.
Muhammad Nawaz, right?
Yeah.
And we need a player like that. We need a player who can
Yeah.
come in the middle order.
Yeah. Who's an all-rounder,
Who's
right?
he's an all-rounder,
Yep.
can bat at a high strike rate,
Yep.
but can also pick up wickets.
Yeah.
So I
fair.
think, like the point that you were touching on, we have a lot of good players in Pakistan right now, young players
Yeah.
that are on the come up, right?
Yeah.
They're doing their thing in the PSL. It's still early, but the signs are good, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. That focus on these young players,
Yeah.
groom them,
Yeah.
and just keep an eye on them throughout the tournament because
Yeah.
every single one of these guys have proven something so
Yeah.
far, something positive in the
See,
PSL.
I fully agree with that. I feel like this year's PSL, I had like like I was watching these youngsters because I was truly excited to see who's going to come out on top, who's going to be the guy or the guys that are going to be sort of the face of the PSL of 2026 in terms of being the young guys who are being brought in. So I feel like that's the exciting factor for me as well, because I'm truly enjoying watching these guys, you know, perform. And they're actually like the guys that we were talking about, Maz, Samir Minhas, Shamil Hussain, Abdul Samad. We already spoke about these guys. We've had these guys on the radar for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that they're actually in there and they're performing, I feel like this is where I'm getting the happiness of watching and truly following PSL, because we're getting to see the future stars of Pakistan, and then we're also seeing how these guys are, you know, like almost have a competition against each other, like Shamil and Maz, right? So that's one good, I would say, an outcome, or like I would say more like an outcome of PSL, right? Where in the past, obviously, we see like the youngsters come through, but I feel like this year's cohort was like really fun because they were coming from like, I think the Asia under 19,
the rising stars.
So
they had the Shaheen tours against England.
Yeah, so there was rising stars, there were Shaheens that we've been seeing these guys, and now, like, you know, like obviously some of these guys went to Bangladesh as well, and then obviously now in PSL. So it's a lot of exciting, hopefully exciting things for Pakistan cricket on the horizon, I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that PCB please make the correct decisions, I would say, about these young guys. Please do not exploit their positions, the way their game, and which positions they play at, because we've seen this throughout years and years where an opener like Matsadaka, knowing PCB, they could send him like fourth or fifth down, right? So we want PCB to know that this is, you know, like we need these players to be playing their natural game in their natural what's the word,
in their position,
in their positions,
just something that they're comfortable in, right? Don't chop and change for no reason to accommodate players who have consistently failed over a lot of tournaments, right? So I mean, so there's no point on changing their positions. It makes sense if you actually already have an established player in the team, someone who's really good, like let's say you have a Finn Allen in your team, right? So because of that, you might be like, all right, you need game time, just play a number 4, right? But we don't have that. We actually need players who can play like every single game in the starting 11. I mean, I think in terms of PSL, we've covered pretty much everything. The only, I mean, we can talk about if you guys have any other things, but I feel like one thing that I wanted to talk about is Babar Azam's comment in the post-match conference, where a reporter asked Babar Azam, like, hey, compared to Virat Kohli, he has a really good record of chasing runs. What about you? Are you working on it? Something along those lines. And Babar got very defensive. You could see it on his face. He looked pretty much like more like startled, but then angry at the same time. He was pissed.
He was pissed off, in other words. And his reply actually made me chuckle. I was like, his response was, you should go back and watch my performances. I've actually made Pakistan win multiple times.
He said, "Maine काफी games finish किए हुए."
Yeah, he said, "Maine काफी games finish किए हुए," and I couldn't remember a single in a big tournament. Sorry.
In a Pakistani jersey.
In a Pakistani jersey on a big tournament level, and in a position where Pakistan was do or die situation. Babar's never come clutch. I literally cannot remember this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean that
you gotta go back to like 2021 for that.
Yeah, so 2019, like I think he did get out, but he did like manage to like push Pakistan towards
the New Zealand game.
Like against New Zealand, and then like the 2021. Other than those two games, nothing
There's
comes
nothing.
to mind.
There's actually
literally nothing comes to mind.
Yeah. So when he's saying that with so much confidence, it's almost like arrogance in a way, in his voice and on his face. That's concerning because
it's a pattern with a lot of these Pakistani players, right? Shadab is the same. Remember when he got asked a question during the World Cup? He said something like, "हमने तो इंडिया को beat किया हुआ है." जो legends आए थे, they didn't even do that.
Because one of the legends said that.
I think Mohammad Yusuf. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. The point is like these guys are arrogant. And they don't have any like self-criticism. They can't look at themselves like in their own shirt and see what they're lacking. It's always defensive. It's always
I feel these guys are aware of the fact, but they don't want to leave their position because it brings them a lot of money at the end of the day.
Like that being just being so full of themselves that you remember when like Pakistan lost a game? Was it Asia Cup? And then we saw like a video of Shaheen Shah watching his own batting
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah.
room, right? Was that the
Yeah, I
Asia
think
Cup?
Against US.
Yeah,
Right?
it was one of the World
Okay, then
Cups.
it
I
might have
think.
been the World
Yeah.
Cup then. And then I remember the same evening, someone posted a video of Shaheen watching himself like hit a six. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, you're posting it because you think it's cool. Like, are you like 5 years old? Like,
Yeah.
what do you?
Like, the first
Bro,
time
there's
as a
no one to
professional.
give them media training even after
Yeah.
what 5-6. I feel
No,
it's been playing
dude,
since what 2019,
yeah,
2018.
man, it's been
Bro,
like
it's been like
7, 8
almost
years.
like a
Yeah.
decade now.
See, at this point,
They have
like
zero
in
media
a
training.
corporate environment, to be honest, like if you're not performing for like more than a year, you have a high chance of getting sacked. And then in Pakistan, New Jersey, you can not perform for 5 years, but if your connections are correct,
That's all you need.
that's all. I mean,
You're set. You're set for life.
actually, connection takes me to Azam Khan, right? I'm seeing him. Who's he playing for? Karachi,
Yeah.
right?
Karachi,
So
yeah.
Azam Khan's
Yeah.
playing for Karachi, and I was watching the game against Hyderabad, and obviously he's keeping for Karachi. It's just, it blows my mind that how far connections. Obviously, it's being the son of Moeen Khan.
Yep.
How far it can take you in life. Like, dude, when you're playing against proper athletes, at least international athletes, and you have some Pakistani players that are also reasonably fit, and then you're there, and I'm not trying to, shame him or like for his weight, but when you're representing a sport, and Pakistan sport for the matter, unfortunately, we are going to bring up your weight, right? We're going to bring up how you look and how you move and all that.
You're an athlete.
You-
It's a criteria, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is not like you're not Kenya, for example. You're not
Yeah.
Namibia, where sure you're allowed for whatever reason. You're representing Pakistan on a international level, on a global level. Sorry, and just it just blows my mind that you can get away with so much if you have the right connections in Pakistan cricket board,
Yeah.
right? So it just, I don't know, it's just
Blows my mind,
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I remember that
Blows
one
my
game he
mind.
played against England away.
Dude,
and
that's the
he
only
w-
game of
And he
Azam
was
Khan's
just
I remember.
missing everything.
Yeah.
Like anything that came his way was just getting
Was
out
that
of
the one
dropped
where
it.
the ball hit his head and then he got out?
I don't even remember.
Because I remember there's a game where
Yeah, so Mark would bowl like a bouncer,
Yeah.
and then he tried ducking it, and
Yeah.
then he closed his eyes. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, like this cannot be
So-
like an international
see,
player.
So being that, like holding that much weight, you can see virtually how he struggles against fast bowling.
course,
Today,
yeah.
was it Nahid Rana or someone from like, they had a fast bowler, Hyderabad, and he was bowling like consistently about 142 to 145, right? And Azam Khan's reaction time, his hand and eye coordination, man, horrible. He's a great batter when it comes to spin bowling. Like, he can actually hit balls very far.
For
But
sure.
dude, he has like, his reflexes are horrible. His weight has to go down. But the whole point of this conversation is, when you have connections, man, to PCB, literally anything is possible. Even if you're like a 260 pound, 280 pound even person.
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, we've talked about this multiple times.
Yeah.
There are certain things you need to take care of if you're
Right.
an athlete, because at the end of the day, it's not really about us, it's about him, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How he's going to perform on the field and how
Yeah.
much it hinders him
Yeah.
not having that physical level required at the
Agreed.
international level.
Yeah.
I think we've talked enough about PSL, right?
Yeah, let's switch gears. Let's talk about
Let's switch
IPL.
countries, yeah.
Let's switch countries. Go to our neighbors.
Yeah,
talk
let's
about
go across
IPL
the border. Yeah.
across the border. Let's talk about how, even on like, obviously in IPL, I've truly been enjoying
Oh, yeah.
almost every game.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been
There have been
some
some thrillers.
right thrillers. There's
Yep.
been a couple of thrillers.
Yep.
Even was it today or was it
yeah.
today was a thriller?
GT versus KKR
I think that was
versus
yesterday, yeah.
KKR versus LSG.
So Lucknow versus
Kolkata Knight Riders.
Kolkata Knight Riders. That was a
Went down to the
thriller,
last ball. Yeah.
right?
This new kid on the block, like Mukul Choudhary.
So Mukul Chaudhary, how much did he score? 50 something?
He scored
54?
50 something of 20
Yeah, but
20
did you see his sixes? Mukul
Dude.
Chaudhary was actually
helicopter shots.
Hell-
It reminded
yeah,
me
so
of MS Dhoni
his first couple of shots were like
with a
flicks,
flick of the
right?
wrist. Yeah.
It's
His-
so good to watch that.
His flicks were so phenomenal, and then we saw him hit big sixes over mid wicket as well.
He reminded
right?
me a bit of AB de Villiers because he was able to like smack the ball to like every part of the ground, and he was able to like play that baseball shot as well, where you just like
swing it like that.
swing it,
yeah.
and then he was able to like cut the ball on the offside. That went for 6 as well.
Yeah.
It was
Dude,
just
he
crazy.
hit 7 sixes.
He did
At a
it.
strike rate of 200.
Yeah,
which
so
is pretty
42
insane.
out of his 54 runs, whatever.
Yeah, no, he made 54. Yeah, of
Yeah,
like
so
27.
90% of his runs
Yeah.
almost they came just from sixes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty. That's
and he's
pretty
only
insane.
21 as well, so he's literally
Oh,
like
he's
a kid.
21?
Yeah, he's literally 21.
Wow. Yeah.
I see. My thing is with something
Amazing.
like IPL, it's just there's so much talent. Like we can talk for hours. I feel like starting from someone who's the youngest, Suryavanshi. Right? We've already discussed him. Like him, and it's not even a fluke. Like he's consistently performing. I think maybe like yesterday or couple like maybe it was like today or something like that. Losing track of like these games because there's so many happening. But one of the games he got out a little bit early, but he's been performing so well. Like we always say this, man. India got like so many people in the tank, right?
Dude, I mean, Suryavanshi, we were talking about him. He hit Bumrah for like 3 sixes.
Yeah.
He hit Bumrah, I think, for a 6 on his very first ball.
On his very
which he
first
faced.
ball.
So yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that's
talk about that.
incredible.
That's one of the
Made 39 of 11 balls at a strike rate of like 278.
Yeah, him and Jaiswal
Yeah.
both like such a lethal, such like a lethal combination.
yeah.
They were 80 in 5 overs, and it was like an 11 over game.
Yeah, they made
And
150.
They
on
made
the dot.
150. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like if you get like Suryavanshi out, it's gonna be Jaiswal.
Yeah, dude, Jaiswal
And
is
if you get
purple
Jaiswal out,
cap.
it's gonna be
See,
Suryavanshi.
Jaiswal is
He's
also
purple cap right
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
And he's not supposed to be a T20 player.
Yeah.
he is a good T20 player though. Like
Okay, maybe the Indian standards are just too high, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
Abhishek
yeah.
Sharma.
You got Sai Sudarshan as well, right? He's
Yeah, no,
performing
yeah,
so
Sai
Jaiswal has like a very sound technique as well. I think
Yeah.
that makes him more dangerous than Abhishek and
More
like
consistent,
Suryavanshi.
more
feel
consistent, more.
Dude, I actually feel like Abhishek now is like he's not performing the best, right? Like he's correct me if I'm wrong. Like
Yeah.
Abhishek is like struggling compared to like how we see him perform.
Yeah, he can't
So-
find his rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Abhishek right now, it just seems like he's not in rhythm. But you got so many other people that are just, like
Even Shubman Gill is back in form.
yo, Shubman Gill, what made like 90 something run, was it?
No, I think he made like 70 something.
Okay, so that was KL Rao,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
that made 90. Shubman Gill also was it today's game that he made like 70 something runs. I'll check that. But Shubman Gill looks like he's in really good form as well. Same goes for KL Rahul.
I think Gill has always been like really good in IPL.
Right.
It's just like when he switches to like international formats,
Yeah.
that's
he just
where
needs a little more time.
yeah, that's where he struggles with. And Ahmedabad is his favorite ground as well. He's always been like super consistent whenever he plays on that venue.
Which makes sense. Ahmedabad is a pretty damn good pitch.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think I think what's important right now, we should also talk about the standings, right? Because we touched base on standings in PSL.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your standings for IPL. So right now, Rajasthan is leading the charts.
for sure.
Three games, all 3
3
won.
out of 3, yep.
Yeah, 2.4 net run rate, which
Yeah,
is
which makes sense. They've been really good actually
exactly.
so far.
But keep this in mind: RCB is third, and they are second.
Second is Punjab, and then
Second is
third
Punjab.
Second is
and third
Punjab. What I was
RCB.
trying to get at is RCB's net run rate is 2.5, which is higher than Rajasthan, and they've only played 2 games versus Rajasthan, who's played 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were
So-
I don't know if you guys saw that game properly. They demolished CSK. They scored like what 250 odd runs.
Yeah,
They had like I think around 19 sixes compared to like 14 fours.
yeah.
And their innings like Tim David like
But
what a
CSK
guy.
actually were able to like pull it back. No, they made.
I mean they made like
207.
207,
Yeah.
which is not a lot. So even by if you lose by like
run
4,
margin is
it's pretty decent.
yeah, it's decent. It's decent. Yeah.
It's pretty decent. And they also like I think they had like a 200 game against
Mumbai or
Sunrisers.
something? Yeah.
Sunrisers like the very first game. So they were able to like
I think that was against Mumbai.
Boost.
No,
like against Sunrisers.
oh, that was.
So they
against
were able to like
The
boost
first
their
one
run
was
rate.
Sunrisers,
Yeah, they were
yeah.
able to like boost their run rate like
I
significantly.
think
from
that's
that
the
as
one
well.
where Padikkal played a pretty solid innings.
Dude, even in this
Kohli
game,
obviously
yeah.
played a solid innings as well. The first game was a great starter to the tournament, obviously. But yeah, like I think right now, when we touched upon your like Jaiswal, right? He's currently has the most runs in
Yeah, that's what I'm
IPL,
saying. He's a
right?
purple cap right
He is
now.
a purple
he
cap.
is, he is.
Do you know what his average is? Guess his average in 3 games.
76.
Guess his average.
130. I mean, I'm just making numbers. Up to
His
the-
average is 170.
That,
Because
Damn.
he's probably been
What?
going.
Yeah, he's probably been not out. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
3 games, 3 innings, 170 runs. Insane.
oh yeah, he just scored like a 75 not out. So
Yeah.
so that makes
And then
sense.
you got there was another guy that I was talking about. Remember Samir? Or we actually talked
Yeah,
about him
Samir
last
Rizvi.
week. Samir Rizvi currently
Rizvi.
has an average of 80 runs, and he scored 160 runs. In IPL, which is
At a strike rate of 161.
insane.
Very
right?
impressive, yeah.
Like I mean,
Really good.
I feel like for India, like 160 is still like whatever because these guys are like constantly hitting 180 plus.
Yeah.
So in Indian standards, might be like I don't know if that's too low or too high.
No, it's just like it's good, but it's not like
alright.
Abhishek Sharma.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then you got Suryavanshi. He's also on the list of most runs as well. Like he's like fifth, I believe.
Yep.
He got
He's sixth right now.
122 runs in.
Dude, his
3
strike
games.
rate is 248.
Yeah, let's look at the strike rate. I'm actually very interested to see.
Suryavanshi's strike rate is
250 almost.
He's gonna be
yeah.
leading. Yeah, he's gonna be at the top.
Yeah, like his strike rate of
He's gonna be at the top.
248 is
Yeah.
insane, man. Like, I can't believe someone that's like 15 years old, and like I see someone like him perform, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
It's scary, man. Like,
Yeah,
because
Bro, I was playing like Gilly Danda, like at that age.
you're playing
at 15.
you were playing gilly danda at that age.
Yeah, bro.
You
Like,
know what I was doing? I don't remember what I was
yeah,
doing.
no,
I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't remember at
Yeah.
15. I was probably like counting numbers in math, or I was doing like algebra or some shit.
Probably counting them backwards.
Yeah, probably counting them backwards because I can't count. But that's not the point. The point is like you see guys like this, like they're 15, 16, and all the way to like 19 and 20. And then you're like, man, these guys just like built different, right? Like the talent that they possess and the power that they have.
Physically, he's
is-
actually pretty good too. Like for like I think 15 or 16-year-old, he's like physically developed to play at this level. It's not like when he goes out there. Remember when like Sachin was really young and he came out.
Yeah.
He looked like a little kid in front of
Yeah.
like Shoaib Akhtar and all these guys.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
with Suryavanshi, he looks like okay, he actually belongs there.
Yeah.
He's like
See,
kind of a
he
big
looks
guy.
very mature,
Yeah,
right?
he looks
For
mature,
his
yeah.
age, so which goes to my next question. It's more like a controversial thing. Do you think there's age fraud here? Like someone
The thing is,
funny
I
thing is
remember someone said that he himself said that in like 2012 he was something like, I don't know, something like that. Like few years back, he was like
Yeah.
12 years old
Yeah.
at a certain year.
yeah.
So it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
add up.
Yeah, I just don't see. The thing is with India, age fraud is not really kind of a thing. I don't remember the last time they did age fraud.
I don't even. Yeah, honestly, like it doesn't really matter.
But
even
yeah,
if,
but that's not the point. Like
Yeah,
even if you're 17,
yeah,
18,
even
it's
like
still the
it's
1
same.
year
right?
more.
Yeah.
or even
it
at
really
18,
doesn't matter.
right? Out of 15, who cares, man? Like
You take it
Bro,
for the
even if
player
he's
he
20,
is.
like no one cares.
Yeah.
the point is that you're right, like he carries himself very well. Suryavanshi, I think the way he is on the crease as well, he doesn't seem like he's not the black sheep, right? He doesn't look like he does not belong there. He
Yeah.
actually looks
He looks
very
more-
well settled
yeah.
whenever he's on the pitch. So I respect that, man. Like that kid probably has he's played so much cricket obviously, and this genuinely seeing him bat and perform, I truly enjoy it, and I want to see him play obviously. Like it would be funny seeing him play against Pakistan obviously, because the same hype was going for Abhishek Sharma obviously when he was going to be playing against Pakistan. So let's see. Obviously, India has so many options. Jay's was one as well. So a lot of options. Let's not get into the international yet. So on the strike rates level, we got let me see quickly.
I wanna
Rajat is so his name is Rajat Patidar,
He's
right?
the captain of RCB. Yep.
RCB's captain. 255 strike rate, man.
Oh, Patidar is amazing. He's
Patidar has been
incredible.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good.
He's reminding
Even
me of,
last
like-
season he's been
yeah.
pretty good.
Have you guys seen his hairstyle?
I've seen his
Kind of
hairstyle.
reminds me of like 2007, 2008, like MS Dhoni, and he can hit the ball like very far as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. He's only played like his runs, like he's made like 79 runs in 2 matches. So
And he's a good captain as well.
Yeah, no, he is a good captain.
He's a
yeah.
he's a
I
great.
think
captain.
last season was it?
They won because of him.
Yeah, no,
like
he was
the
a captain. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of like Josh Butler leaving Rajasthan and now he plays with GT? But then Rajasthan got a bowler in like Ravi Bishnoi and they're performing better. The team synergy looks better, right? You think that's
Like the combination.
the combination looks better. So I feel like
But I think like that's also because like to add to your point, I feel like so far Jaiswal and Suryavanshi they have
even
given them
Dhruv
great
Jurel has
starts.
been really good.
They
yeah,
have, but
I actually want to talk about
Yeah.
Jarrell as well. Like
the under-19 captain for
Yeah.
India, right?
Yeah.
And see, I think he made like 75 the other day of like 40 odd deliveries.
Right. He
Yeah.
got the chance to shine as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, because I believe they were either chasing in that game or
No, they batted first.
they
That
batted
was against
first.
GT.
Yeah, I remember watching that game and how entertaining Jarrell's batting is, man. Like
He's a good player.
he's also another player that could hit pretty much everywhere
Yeah.
on the ground, right? So, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I think it's a really good trade that they made
Yeah.
because Butler is really good.
I was gonna say Butler's still performing.
Yeah, no,
pretty
he's
well.
still
Like his
performing, yeah.
his sixes are still massive, man. Like he's doing well for himself and obviously
Yeah,
for
GT,
his team.
yeah.
But yeah, like anyways,
Yeah, no, but I think what Rajasthan got in return is two really good openers.
yeah,
And then they got Dhruv Jurel performing, and they were able to invest more into a bowler like Ravi Bishnoi. Because right now, I think Bishnoi is the purple cap in terms of
Oh,
wicket.
is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
he is.
okay,
He's
okay.
number one
I
right
know.
now.
he is. He has
Okay,
7
gotcha.
wickets right
in
now
3 games.
in 3 games. He's bowled 9 overs at an average of 11.7. Actually, in bowling, we should be very specific
Yeah.
because 11.7 versus 12, obviously, like it
Yeah.
makes a difference. Then you got someone like Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna is doing
Krishna's
good too.
second in terms of the highest wicket takers as of
But he's
now.
been getting hammered a bit, quite a bit.
Yeah, 'cause
correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
His
what
average is
economy?
20.6 compared to
What is his economy though?
It's 10.3.
Yeah, so he's been
Yeah.
getting
Yeah. He has always been that kind of bowler, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
even in international cricket.
In
he's-
Australia,
Yeah.
he was.
What was
getting
that
smashed.
series they had? I think at home he got hit a
Against
lot.
New Zealand.
New Zealand,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Neandra Berger is another player I like watching. I haven't seen enough of him in like international cricket,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like IPL is one of these places where I actually get to see him more.
Yeah.
because he's so fast. He's a left.
He's very quick.
Yeah, I think he bowls like 150 plus, which is pretty
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And he's performing well
Yeah.
in Indian conditions.
That's pretty insane because
Yeah.
these tracks are made like roads, and if you as a bowler are actually out like performing really well, it goes to show your talent, right? At the end of the day, like how you're performing, and I'm sure like South African the cricket board probably has their eyes.
Oh
on
yeah,
this
no,
guy,
they
right?
definitely do.
Yeah.
The problem is they already have like Jansen right now, so
Yeah.
it'll probably be like a rotation player.
Right.
But that's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, obviously, man, like someone who's bowling like 150. Firstly, I haven't seen a Pakistani bowler bowl 150 since maybe Haris Rauf that
Yeah.
bowled like
He
year
doesn't
and a
count
half
as a
ago,
bowler.
2 years
He's
ago.
not a real bowler.
Not anymore. He's probably trending at like 144k. But anyways,
Yeah.
point is that for Burgers, I think 150 kilometers is insane, man. Like a ball, you actually cannot see. Like you
And he swings it too. He's not just
Yeah.
like a random pacer.
Yeah.
Like, throw it as hard as he can.
There was another guy in India currently who's bowling 100 and
I think Ashok Sharma is his name.
yeah. Let me
He plays for GT. I think he
Yeah.
bowled like a 154k
yes, exactly.
delivery like a few days ago. That was like express pace.
But yeah, I think. What do you guys think so far? Like, is there more you want to cover about the IPL?
No, I mean not really.
I feel like I think we are forgetting like one moment that happened.
What happened?
I don't know if you guys saw like the David Miller
Oh, yeah.
controversy. So basically like DC they needed like 2 of like 2 against Gujarat Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he like I don't know who was bowling. I forgot the bowler, but anyways like Miller had the opportunity to take like a single, but he denied it to Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
And at the very end, they needed 2 of 1, and they had like a run out. So
Yeah.
DC,
Kuldeep
I don't know if
got
it's gonna come back. That game itself is gonna be like the deciding factor,
Yeah.
or like always gonna come back to like haunt them.
Yeah.
Like that was unacceptable for me. Like if like sure he played like a very good cameo, like 40 of 20, great, but you cannot be doing that at this level.
No, I agree. I mean, 2 of 2.
This is something like a Pakistani player would
Yeah,
do. Like they would want the
true.
limelight. They would
Yeah.
not trust the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would rather. I mean, I think if it was anyone in his shoes, he would rather take the single
Yeah.
and then just go on from there. Like it's too risky. Like 2
Yeah.
from 1, anything could happen, right?
Yeah, fair.
Well, it makes more sense to take a single there, right? Because you don't,
Yeah.
you might be in good nick or whatever, but
Yeah.
2 of last bowl, that is pressure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Pressure that you don't want on yourself.
Yeah.
The point is to take the game as late
It's
as
just suicide. It's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like
you want to take the game as late as you can,
Yeah.
and then logically finish that up.
Yeah.
like one ball wouldn't even have made like a difference.
Mm.
Like you know what I mean?
That
So-
was a really good game to watch, though.
Yeah, it
honestly, I
was.
enjoyed watching that game.
It
Yeah.
was.
Because I like these kind of like stupid mistakes when
Yeah.
players make.
Because it
It
adds
adds on,
flair.
yeah.
Right,
I feel
to
it
the
always.
game.
I feel it always happens to David Miller. Like the poor guy, he can't catch a break. Back in like what 2024.
Yeah, the catch.
Yeah, like Surya
Yeah.
Kumar's catch, like literally just by millimeters.
Yeah.
That was like the deciding factor. Then today again it happened, and even in like 2023 semi-final where
Yeah.
he scored a century against Australia.
No, I
Like-
honestly don't like that century that he made. I remember that,
Really?
like what you're talking about.
Dude, they
I
were
think
like
that was a
four-
Champions Trophy.
No, that was like 2023 World Cup semi-final. They were like 30 for 4 South Africa,
Hmm.
and he kind of changed the game in their favor. But again, South Africa did not end up winning the game,
I
even though they
remember-
got really close to it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Miller has always been like at the center of all these
Yeah,
losses,
no.
unfortunately.
It's okay. It's part of the South African.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah, it's just a
Right.
curse, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I think that's really about it.
Yeah, I
right?
think
I
we've
think we've
covered
covered
pretty much
everything.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've covered the standings. We've covered outstanding
Individual players,
performances,
yep.
stats. We've covered some of the more controversies and like any topics that are like just in the air.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you can carry it away.
Yeah, no, I think that's the second week of IPL and the PSL. There's going to be a lot more really good games coming your way. Just tune in and we'll be back with yet another podcast. Take care.